I'm James Lynch, and this is my stock report for UFC St. Louis, taking a look at the biggest winners and losers from the event. And apologies, still a little bit under the weather, but we got to get the stock report done. We do it after every single event, and the thumbnail always gives it away. My biggest stock riser on this card was Chase Hooper, who came into this fight as an underdog, and I was worried about the striking. I thought Slava Claus was going to be too much, but Hooper proving it was not an issue at all as he gets this fight to the ground and gets a submission win in the second round. I know Slava Claus contesting. I had some issues with the ref as far as the tap, but he looked like he was done. Big win there for Hooper. That's back-to-back submission victories. 3 straight wins since moving up to the lightweight division. Hooper's in a bit of a weird spot, right? Because he got into the UFC really young. He's kind of had to learn on the job. And, there was a point after losing to Steve Garcia, I thought, this might be it. He might not last very long, but the fact that Hooper's able to now get another really impressive win here, very, very, very big for Chase Hooper. Again, what I look at here is the age and the fact that he's getting better every fight. This was a massive improvement fight to fight. So to me, Hooper is the biggest stock riser on this card, but let me know in the comments who you think the biggest stock riser was in your opinion. Would love to hear from you. Now, one of the other names on this card that I was debating putting in the top spot was Diego Ferreira. What a win this was. Big upset. What were the odds? I think he was plus 380 or something like that going into this fight. Yeah, you look at it there, plus 380. Rebecki was minus 500. He didn't look like it tonight. Ferreira looked like the minus 500 favorite. 39 years old. I know he's coming off the win over Michael Johnson, but you look prior to that, 3 straight losses. This was a guy that was on the verge of getting cut from the UFC. Now he's got 2 stoppage victories here. Really like what I saw with Ferreira. There's certainly a lot more left in the tank for him, and I don't think his age is any indication of how well he's performing in the cage here. So to me, Diego Ferreira, really, really, really good win. Again, getting it done. The fact that he finished him too. You look at Rebecki, overall, pretty durable guy, right? If you look at his last couple fights, actually, he hasn't been finished since 2014. So for Ferreira to go out there and do that, huge, huge, huge win for him. And he gets my number 2 spot. I have no issues if you wanted to put him in the number 1 spot as well. I just think potential-wise, Hooper's going to be around in the UFC a little bit longer than Ferreira. That's kind of why I put him in the top spot, but no issues with Ferreira being in that spot as well. And then, of course, the other big stock riser for me on this card has to be Carlos Ulberg. I know Ulberg was favored going into this fight, but the fact that he did it in 12 seconds and the fact that Ulberg, outside of that, not so good debut, he's looked great, and again, Menafield had a good win streak coming into this one, right? That's the thing we got to look at as well. You look at Menafield prior to tonight, coming off that huge win over Dustin Jacoby, unbeaten in his last 5 fights. And for Ulberg to go in there and steal his thunder, very impressive here. 33 years old out of that city kickboxing camp. And he's on a nice win streak now. Like I mentioned, lost his debut, but hasn't looked back since then. All finishes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight wins for him now. You could have also put him in the top spot as well. As far as the light heavyweight division, Ulberg is definitely someone that is going to be making some noise with a win like this. So big win there for Ulberg, and he looks to climb up the ranks at 205. Got to get some honorable mentions in here. There were a bunch on this card. Let's go through those right now, and then we'll get to our biggest losers on this card. So some of the honorable mentions, you got to mention Derek Lewis just for him getting it done in the main event. I don't really know where Lewis fits. Like, again, he was favored coming into this fight. He was expected to win. Lewis, still a very dangerous guy, even at his age with his knockout power. He's 39 years old. He was a slight favorite going into this one, but he got it done, and it's a main event. That's a big deal. So Lewis has got to be up there. I just felt like the other choices that I made for my biggest stock risers were guys that were kind of unexpected. I think we expected Lewis to win by knockout. No real surprises there, but again, very big win there for Derek Lewis. Who does he fight though? Like, he's pretty much fought everyone in the weight class. We'll see who they decide to match him up with next. There's a few options I'm sure we could look at. Let me know in the comments who you want to see Derek Lewis fight next. Another honorable mention has to be Joaquin Buckley, co-main event. He wanted to get on this card. He gets in it, takes on Ruziboyev, and he gets it done. I saw a lot of people picking the Uzbekistan fighter in this one, thinking that Buckley was going to lose. I didn't see it. I thought Buckley, with that big win over Luque in his last fight, he was going to continue. I considered putting Buckley on my stock risers list, but I did not like his call out. He's calling out Conor McGregor. Like, I know some people will say, oh, you got to shoot your shot. There's no way in hell Conor McGregor's fighting Joaquin Buckley. Like, come on, man. You're not even in title contention. So didn't like that. So that puts Buckley in the honorable mentions as opposed to the actual top 3 that I usually pick here. But again, big win there for Buckley. Big things ahead for him in the weight class. The other honorable mention, got to point out on this card, is Robbie Vicks. 37 seconds, knocking out Terrence McKinney. Highlight reel finish. He was favored coming in, but to finish McKinney like that, very impressive. Got to give him his flowers as well. And then I'm going to do a double honorable mention here. Trey Waters, Billy Goff. What a fight this was. Absolute war. Waters comes out on top. Very close fight, but this is the type of performance that fans are going to want to tune into these fighters going forward, what they put on the line here tonight. So both of them get an honorable mention for me. Both their stocks went up, in my opinion, even Goff, who lost. And then the last one, Charles Johnson, underdog, gets it done in his hometown, taking out Jake Hadley. Johnson's had a nice turnaround. He got a new contract before this fight. So you love to see it for a guy that had, 3 straight losses, comes back and get 2 big wins as an underdog. So Charles Johnson gets an honorable mention here as well. Let's talk about some of the biggest losers, some of the biggest stock droppers on this card. Again, apologies for the voice here. I know it's not 100%. The big one for me is Rebecki. I'm sorry, but you're minus 500 coming into this fight. Where is he? Right here, minus 500. I've heard a lot of people mention this guy being a future champion and all this different stuff. He had a nice win streak coming in here, but come on, that performance, not very good. And again, Ferreira, older fighter, had some layoff issues, some injury issues, and he doesn't get it done. And he gets finished in this fight to boot. So, Rebecki, in my opinion, biggest stock dropper. You look at that 3-fight win streak coming into this one. Longer than that win streak. I meant 3 straight wins in the UFC is what I was getting at. But just not a good performance from him tonight. And this was one I certainly got wrong tonight. He's got to have a better showing going forward. So Rebecki, biggest stock dropper. Right up there with him has got to be Slava Claus. Again, favored going into this fight. I know he's got a few deficiencies, and I know, again, a couple fights ago he had a couple losses, right? You look at the Diakiese and Davis loss. But I think, as far as his striking goes, I think he had the edge over Chase Hooper, and he couldn't get it done. And the fact that he got finished in this fight, first stoppage loss for him in his career and in the UFC, not a good look here for Slava Claus as he's, again, trying to work his way up. This is a big setback for him as far as what he was trying to achieve in that weight class. So Slava Claus, to me, being another stock dropper on this card. And how about Robles Despain, the heavyweight? Hope I said that right. This guy had a ton of hype. That's why, again, I told people not to bet this fight because I don't know. Again, you beat a Josh Parisian. What does that tell us? And what it told us tonight is he doesn't have very good takedown defense. He's 35 years old. Yes, he's a big dude, but Waldo beat him at, his own game. Waldo's game, I should say, not Robles' game. Again, he's got 3 straight wins. Not a great performance from either guy. I don't think the fans were too impressed with this one. This was kind of one of the fights tonight that didn't really help either guy. But the big, again, for a guy that had so much hype coming into this, quick wins, all that, he goes the distance. I think this is the first fight. Yeah, first fight he's gone the distance. Not a good look, man. I know it's hard to replicate, getting all these first round finishes, but for him to lose by decision and not put up much of a fight, he's a big stock dropper as well on this card. So got to put him there too. A couple honorable mentions on this card as far as stock droppers. Alonzo Menafield, again, you get knocked out in 12 seconds. Pretty bad look there. And you look at the win streak he had. Again, that win over Dustin Jacoby was very big for him. And I thought, okay, this new training camp with Pat Barry, maybe it's working out. He's 36, good time to peak, but you get finished in 12 seconds, not a good look. That's his first stoppage loss since 2020. So, big setback there for Alonzo Menafield as far as what he wanted to do. Terrence McKinney, I know, was an underdog going into this fight against Robovics, but this is a guy that had, one of the best knockout wins in UFC history. And I know he's only 29, but you look at it there, he's got, a loss here. He had a 2-fight win streak, but now he's had a couple losses where he's gotten finished, right? Dober, Bonfim, Sadikov, now Robovics. Not a good look here for Terrence McKinney getting finished so quickly. So he's a big stock dropper as well. Again, I know he wasn't favored going in, but you expected a bit more from him because, again, I don't think Robovics is any sort of, killer in the division. So not a good look there. And then the last one we'll point out is Jake Hadley. Again, favorite going in, should have won this fight. Again, back-to-back losses now. So, he starts his UFC career off 2-1. Now he's 2-3. So not a good look there for Jake Hadley. His stock definitely dropped in this event. So I don't know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who are your 3 biggest stock risers? Who are your 3 biggest stock droppers? Would love to hear from you in the comments. I'll say it one more time, guys. Sorry about my voice, but I got to get these videos out. Otherwise, it kind of loses its luster the later I get this video out. So getting some lemon water. I'm probably going to hop in the sauna tonight and hopefully get this voice a lot better here. But it's just, it's been tough with coaching hockey and doing all my content. It's like I need myself to recover a little bit. I'm actually not sick at all. It's just the voice has gone a little bit. So there you go. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm James Lynch. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'll talk to you guys soon, and thanks so much for watching.